Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today we're going to recreate a classic graphic design poster. Whether you're a design student or a design veteran, you've probably seen this poster before. All right, let's jump into Illustrator and have some fun. All right, so here it is. This is a classic Stockholm 67 graphic design poster in Swiss style. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is make sure that we are centered right here on this artboard, and I'm gonna lower my opacity down to about 40%. And let's go ahead and lock the layer. And then from this point, we're just gonna rebuild everything that you see in this poster, and you'll see how it's made up of very simple shapes. The very first thing I'm gonna lay down is gonna be the ellipse tool. So we're just gonna create this circle right here, right there. That's perfect. And anytime that I'm recreating something, I always use a different color or a color that I would hardly ever use. It just makes it a lot easier to see for reference, and it also provides contrast for the things that I'm designing against. All right, so now I'm gonna make a copy of this and paste it in front, and we're just gonna expand this out right here, all the way up to the top of that lamp. And now I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and just grab the bottom of this and go all the way to here. And now I'm gonna grab my direct selection tool by hitting A on my keyboard, and I'm just gonna select this bottom anchor point and hit delete. And now let's go into our outline mode by hitting Control or Command Y. And I'm just gonna grab this circle and bring it to the front. And also we need to join these two paths. So we're gonna use our direct selection tool, select both of these paths, and hit Command or Control J. And when you go back into outline mode, you'll see that that is now a closed path. All right, so let's go back to our outline mode, bring this to the front. All right, so now we can click on this little circle, and we'll just change it to white for now. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do the base, but I'm just gonna show you how to do it with the pen tool. So what I'm gonna do here is just grab the pen tool and go from here to about right here. And we're gonna zoom out and then hold shift as we go all the way down here to the bottom. Hold shift again, go out here to the edge. I'm gonna swap the fill and the stroke and then click right about here. And then we're gonna click right here and hold shift and drag this up to about right there. And then we're gonna click this anchor point again to kind of reset. And now we're gonna go up here to close this path. All right, so now let's select this and swap the fill and the stroke. All right, so now let's go ahead and make this black. And we're not gonna make it 100% black, and I'll show you why we're gonna do that. And now I'm just gonna use the eyedropper tool to match this same black color here. And now we're going to Option or Alt and drag. And while holding shift, we're gonna bring this over here. And now right click and hit Transform and Reflect. And make sure that it's vertical and hit OK. Okay, so this next part is a really good practice to get into. You just want to ensure that there's no spacing at all between these two objects. So what we're going to do is select both of them, click on this first one right here, go over to our line panel and set it to 0, and click on Horizontal Distribute Space. And that just ensures that there's no space between these two elements. All right, so now we're gonna select both of these and go to our Pathfinder tool and click on Unite. And that's just gonna unite those two shapes together. And now we're gonna unite the top of this lamp with the base of the lamp. So let's go ahead and grab both of these right here and click on Unite. And next we need to join the base of the lamp with the top of the lamp. But before we do that, we need to make sure that this is perfectly centered with the top of the lamp. So let's select both of these and let's click the top of the lamp, and that'll set our key object. And now we're gonna hit Horizontal Align Center, and you'll see that that was not aligned, but now it is. All right, so now let's create the pull cord. I'm just gonna use my rectangle tool here, and we're just gonna go to about right here. You don't have to be too precise with it. And now we're gonna go to our ellipse tool, and our smart guides will tell us that that is where we need to be, right there in the center. And we're just gonna draw a circle from the center out. And now we can select all of these black shapes and just unite them together. Now let's go back into our outline mode, because that is gonna send that white circle to the back. And actually, I just realized that we never joined the base of the lamp with the top of the lamp, so let's do that. Okay, so now this lamp is all one shape, and we're gonna keep this circle white, so we're not gonna be doing any intersections here. All right, so the next part is gonna be doing the color. So let's go ahead and grab this lamp, and I'm just gonna go ahead and group all of this together, Command G or Control G. And I'm gonna select my lamp and I'm gonna lock it. That way we can't move it, we can't interfere with it in any way. Now I'm gonna grab my pen tool and we're gonna go right here to where this anchor is, because we want the light to come exactly out of this lamp and go down at this angle. So I'm gonna grab my pen tool and we're gonna go to right around here or so, to the bottom of this lamp, and just make sure that we're following that same line. Swap the fill and the stroke so it's a lot easier to work with. And now we'll just close this one off. And just for now, I'm gonna leave that as a stroke. And just to make it easier to work with, I'm gonna align the stroke to the inside. All right, so now we want to maintain this exact same slant. So all we're gonna do is Option or Alt and move this over. And now we're gonna use our direct selection tool and grab these two anchor points right here. Hold shift on our keyboard and just bring them in like that. And don't worry too much about these not exactly lining up, because one of them will just be behind the other one. It's not a big deal. All right, and now we'll just do the same exact thing here. We're gonna copy and move this over, and grab these anchor points and bring them in just right there. And now we'll do the same thing here. That one's already where we need it to be. And now we'll do the same thing here on this last one. And we'll just kind of make sure that we go in and do this. Just want to make sure that we're not going to see any of the background there. Okay, so now that we've got those shapes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock everything. And we're just going to move this over. I'm going to copy and paste it. And now I'm going to lock our original one again. And let's bring this one back up to 100%. And I'm going to click on this first one, and we're just going to use our eyedropper tool. And then for the second one, just do the same thing here. And just keep going until you get all the way to the very end there. All right, so now I'm gonna make sure that these all go behind the one that came before it. And that's just gonna help us maintain our original slant that we had. All right, so now let's select all of these color bars, and we're just gonna hit group. And now we're gonna send it all the way to the back and then bring it forward over that original art piece there. And as you can see right here, we've gone past this lamp right here, but it's not a big deal, because all we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our rectangle tool, and we're going to start right here where this anchor is and just draw a rectangle going straight down like this. And now we're going to select our color bars and go over here to the Pathfinder tool and click on divide. And now what we can do is go in and delete everything that is on the right side of that. And now we can reselect these color bars and just send them right to the back. So there is the complete recreation of our lamp. Let's go ahead and match this black color right here. And we want to make sure that it's not 100% black. So I'm going to bring this like maybe over here and do like maybe 15% black. And now all we have to do is recreate the type, and that's going to be pretty easy. This is most likely using Helvetica or Helvetica New. So we'll just see if Helvetica Bold lines up. Looks like it's going to. I may need to make a couple of adjustments, but I'm going to go ahead and kern this. So what I did with this O right here, let's just move this out of the way for a second. So what I did with this O is just to keep all of the spacing exactly correct. I just went in and decreased the horizontal scale just a little bit. So it just kind of squishes it just a little bit to get it where it needs to go. And then we'll just copy this O and make sure that we do the same thing here. All right, there we go. There is our meticulously recreated Stockholm 67 poster. Let's go ahead and round this out by putting our background in, and I think I'll probably just do like a 1-inch margin around it. And we're gonna send this to the back, and then we're just gonna color drop this beige color right here. All right, so now let's have a little bit more fun and bring this into Photoshop and just give it a bit of a vintage look. So I'm gonna copy everything here. And I've got my canvas already set up in Photoshop. It's 24¼ by 36¼ and it's just to give it that extra 1/4 of an inch on the bleed all around the edge of the poster so that when you print it out, it goes perfectly to the edges. All right, so now we're gonna paste as a smart object and hit OK. And out of my many resources, I have this paper texture that we just laid on top of this right here. And I'll go ahead and delete this grain layer and show you exactly how I do the grain layers. Create a new layer, type grain, and let's do Shift and Delete to fill this with 50% gray. We're gonna go up here to filter and camera raw filter. And I don't want the grain to be too heavy, so we'll probably do like 50 or something like that. And now we'll do a vignette of about -50. And we can just leave the size and the roughness to 25 and 50 and hit OK. And now we're gonna change our blending mode to overlay. And I just realized we need to change this text color. I'll show you exactly how we do that. So all we have to do is double click on our Vector Smart object. And this will take us back into Illustrator, and it's gonna let us edit this. And then when we save it out, it's gonna go right back into Photoshop and make those changes. So let's select our text and just grab the eyedropper tool and let's match that black color. Go back into Photoshop and you can see that it's updated. And this is the reason why we don't do 100% black, is because we want all of these effects and everything to show up in those black areas. In fact, I'm gonna go back in here and actually change this from 100% white to probably 95% white. And as you can see now, it's being affected by those patterns. All right, so you can leave it like this if you want to, just print it off exactly like this. However, I'm gonna go one step further and just give it a little bit more of an aged look. So we're gonna go up here to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur, and we'll just blur it 3 pixels. That actually looks pretty good. So as you can see right here, just look at the edges of everything. It gives it a nice soft blur, but it just makes it look old and kind of soft around the edges there, gives it more of a vintage feel. All right, so here we go. Here is our recreated classic Stockholm 67 poster created in Illustrator and then finalized in Photoshop. All right, well, I hope I taught you something today. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications to be notified of all future videos. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.